Greg Solier is back now with his extended farm weather forecast for the nation.
Well, Greg, let's take a look at those precipitation totals next week. Where do you think the bulk of that's going to fall?
Of all places, down through Texas, parts of the southwestern reaches of the country. But, you throw tropical moisture in, those elevated dew points, daytime heating, and it's all or nothing with downpour-producing showers and thunderstorms. Some of the worst drought areas in through southern New Mexico, but when you put 1 to 3 inches of that on top of it in a hurry, things could become problematic. There should be later in the week some organized rains in some of the drier areas of the Carolinas back into the Delta, and some lowering pressures across the southwestern Atlantic here and the western Gulf of Mexico. So things getting busy in what should be a busy tropical season out of the Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico. Meanwhile, probably some 1/4 to half-inch moisture. We'll take it in some of the drier areas of the eastern Corn Belt. Finally, outside of a stray shower, some dry time coming off some 6+ inches of rain last week over sections of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and as far south as northern Iowa, a couple of inches there, and scant moisture into the Pacific Northwest. So a pattern change, essentially the southern U.S. getting more organized rains for this week.
Greg, for the first full week of July, are we going to have a hot Independence Day?
Yeah, it's going to be a hot one, and I tell you, you're perhaps out there scouting the fields, or maybe a get-together, a barbecue, long lines at your favorite beverage stand. With this particular setup, this is mid and upper 90-degree air. Again, this is essentially what the summertime forecast is going to be, ebbing and flowing between very warm to hot to maybe spells of heat wave weather, and expanding, increasing drought concerns, and a forecast of that by the weather forecaster here. Warmth over the southeastern part of the country, western states, some cooling into the Pacific Northwest, but it's these ridge-riding thunderstorms that will provide some relief, all or nothing on these storms set up into the western Corn Belt, parts of the plains, maybe some significant drought relief all at once into parts of Texas, the Gulf Coast. Tropics will stay active in the Gulf, and again, we'll keep an eye in the southwest Atlantic into the first week of July.
Does that hot weather lobe start to move as you get into the week of July 8th?
Yeah, it kind of oscillates, or what we call retrogrades, back and forth. Here it is moving from this particular part of the country. Yes, weather will back up, and that's the system, their setup that we see here heading through mid-July as jet stream winds kind of strengthen and move a bit of a cooler air mass into areas of the northeastern part of the country. Normal temperatures down across the southeastern sections of the country. Again, the hot dome over the middle part of the country, and moisture shapes up like this with a couple of systems to keep an eye out for. Western Gulf again, southwestern Atlantic, note the theme there. So the southern states pick up significant moisture, and the Pacific Northwest, nothing going on in the northern and eastern Corn Belt.
Take us to July 21st, Greg.
A little change again, back and forth, the way it's going to go. Here's the hot dome back into position here. Triple-digit readings for parts of the Corn Belt, the plains. Temperatures about normal over the southeastern part of the country. Weather pattern stays active here in through the southern reaches of the plains, Pacific Northwest, with expanding dryness and drought for the eastern Corn Belt. More normalized moisture in the western complex.